Welcome to LEWS Podcast, your place for, well, diving deep into fascinating topics and pulling out those golden nuggets of insight. Today, we're embarking on a really powerful deep dive. We're looking into something truly transformative, the power of a positive mindset. Our mission, as always, is to unpack the sources you've shared with us, find those key insights, and most importantly, get some actionable takeaways you can use, like right now. We're kicking off with a core idea that came up again and again in the material. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. It sounds simple, almost, but it's really profound, isn't it? But what does that actually mean? For you listening right now, how do you cultivate that kind of mindset, especially when, let's be honest, the world often feels, well, not so positive?
That's such a key question to start with. And it's vital, I think, to clarify right off the bat. A positive mindset isn't about, sticking your head in the sand or pretending problems don't exist. Not at all. It's really about how you face challenges, facing them with hope, with confidence, even when things are genuinely tough. Think of it like a specific lens you choose to look through. Psychologists actually call this positive cognitive bias. It basically means our brain's tendency, or potential tendency, to focus on the good stuff. And the research shows it's a real tool, a powerful one, not just some fleeting feeling.
Right? A lens, not a blindfold. That distinction feels really important. And that sets us up perfectly for what we're going to explore today. We're going to dig into what really defines a positive mindset, beyond just the surface level stuff. We'll look at why it's so crucial based on the actual science. We've got some really inspiring real life examples too, people who truly mastered this. And then the really practical bit will arm you with concrete steps and daily habits to start cultivating this for yourself. So yeah, get ready for what I think will be a really compelling and hopefully inspiring journey into your own potential. Okay, so we've set the stage. Let's dive a bit deeper. When we talk about a positive mindset, are we just talking about like wishful thinking, or is there something more specific? The research we looked at seems to consistently point towards this tendency to see the good, right? To actively look for the optimistic angle in any situation.
Exactly, it's that interpretation. And that positive cognitive bias we mentioned, it's not just a nice idea, it's a measurable way our brains can actually be wired, or perhaps rewired. It means our thinking processes can genuinely lean towards seeing opportunities where others might just see roadblocks.
Yep.
It influences how we perceive things, how we remember things. Everything, really. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't passive. It's not something that just happens to you. It's an active mental process, something you can strengthen.
An active skill. I like that framing. And the material breaks this down further, doesn't it? Into four sort of key features, elements you can actually feel and work on developing. Can you walk us through those? What makes up this mindset?
Absolutely. So the first one is optimism. And again, this isn't about being naive or ignoring risks. It's more like an expectation of good outcomes, even when things are difficult. It's paired with a belief, crucially, that you can influence those outcomes, that your effort matters and can lead to positive results.
Okay, optimism. Got it. What's next?
Next up, gratitude. Our sources really highlighted this one. Gratitude isn't just, feeling thankful occasionally. It's an active mental tool, a way to reframe things. It literally helps rewire your brain, in a sense, to notice abundance, even when things feel scarce. You shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. That simple shift can be revolutionary for your mental state.
Active gratitude. Powerful.
And the third, the growth mindset.
Yeah.
This one is huge, really transformative. It's the core belief that your abilities, your intelligence, they aren't fixed traits set in stone. Instead, it's the conviction that you can learn, you can improve, you can develop new skills, new insights, even, and maybe especially, from setbacks. So if you tackle a challenge or make a mistake with this mindset, failure isn't an endpoint. It's just data, a lesson, a stepping stone.
Yeah, turning failures into lessons. That resonates. And the last one.
And finally, resilience. This is that ability to bounce back, to recover when difficulties hit. It's seeing challenges not as these, insurmountable walls, but as opportunities to grow, to learn something new. It's not about dodging difficult things, but about getting back up, maybe even stronger. Each time life knocks you down, you leverage the experience. These four pillars, optimism, gratitude, growth mindset, resilience, they are just abstract concepts. They're like mental muscles you can actively build.
Okay, so we have these four pillars, but let's connect it back to the listener.
Yeah.
Why should you listen and care about actively building these mental muscles? Is it just about, feeling a bit happier day to day, or are the benefits deeper, more tangible? Do they really impact your life in concrete ways?
So, absolutely deeper. The science here is really quite compelling, and it goes way beyond just mood elevation. There's extensive research, including significant studies from places like Harvard University,
Yeah.
showing that cultivating a positive mindset has profound, measurable effects on our actual health and how long we live. People with genuinely positive mindsets tend to live longer. They experience significantly less chronic stress, which we know is a killer. And, get this, they even tend to have stronger immune systems. Just think about that for a second. Your outlook, your mindset can literally affect your body's ability to fight off illness and even how you age.
Wow, that really shifts it from just a nice to have into something fundamental for well-being, doesn't it? And it's not just the long game either. You mentioned measurable impacts. The research we reviewed also pointed to a really interesting 2009 study, I think it was in psychological science. It showed an almost immediate tangible effect. Found that people who simply took 20 minutes a day, just 20 minutes, to write about positive experiences, they actually showed better mood levels, more optimism, and fewer health problems over time. 20 minutes, that's like a coffee break. And it could shift your whole daily experience and potentially your long-term health. It really drives home that this isn't just theory. It's about practical, everyday improvements you can start seeing pretty quickly.
Exactly. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, these scientific findings create this cascade, this ripple effect into so many other areas of life.
Yeah.
So beyond better mental and physical health, what else? Well, a positive mindset sharpens your decision-making. You approach problems with a clearer head, more focused on solutions, less clouded by fear or anxiety. It strengthens relationships too, because naturally, you tend to be more approachable, more empathetic, more collaborative when you're coming from a place of positivity.
That makes sense.
And, quite directly, it often boosts career success. It fosters perseverance when things get tough, adaptability when things change, a proactive approach to challenges and seeing new opportunities. What's really remarkable is just how interconnected all these benefits are. A positive mindset isn't just one isolated thing. It's like a foundational shift that lifts everything else up with it.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Let's talk about people. Let's look at some of the incredible individuals mentioned in our sources who really seem to embody this power. Their stories are just undeniably inspiring, and they illustrate these principles perfectly. First up, Thomas Edison. We all know him, right? Inventor of the light bulb. But what often gets glossed over is the sheer grind, the scale of that journey. Our sources remind us he's supposedly failed maybe over 1,000 times, some accounts say 10,000, before he finally got a working filament. But his famous quote says it all. "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That attitude, it completely reframed what anyone else would call failure, monumental failure, into just steps, essential, valuable data points on the path to success. He didn't see dead ends, he saw progress.
Right. And then there's Oprah Winfrey. Her early life story is just staggering. Poverty, abuse, even getting fired from her first TV news job, told she was unsuitable for television. Can you imagine? Yet through all of that, her sources point to this unwavering positive attitude, this persistence as her superpowers.
She didn't let those setbacks or those labels define her story. She used them, fueled by them in a way. Leveraged her unique voice and perspective to become, well, one of the most influential people on the planet. Her story is just pure testament to how inner resolve, believing in your purpose, can overcome almost any external barrier. And one more, the incredible story of Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs. Facing just unimaginable physical and emotional hurdles, he talks openly about battling deep depression early on, but instead of letting that define him, he made this conscious choice. He transformed that profound challenge into this incredible source of inspiration. Now he travels the world as a motivational speaker, right? Inspiring millions with his message of hope, resilience, and the power of a can-do spirit no matter your circumstances. He truly embodies that idea that your spirit, your mindset, can absolutely transcend physical limitations and create a life filled with purpose.
And what's so illuminating when you look at these stories together is that common thread, isn't it? Whether it's Edison relentlessly reframing failure, or Oprah's unwavering belief against huge rejection, or Nick's transcendence of severe physical limits, each one demonstrates immense resilience, a powerful growth mindset. They didn't dodge hardship. They leaned into it somehow with this deep belief in their ability to learn, adapt, and ultimately overcome. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It poses a question for you listening right now. If they could achieve such extraordinary things by harnessing their mindset, what perceived limits in your own life might you be able to transcend? It really highlights that incredible human capacity we all have to redefine our circumstances just through our inner perspective.
Absolutely. So we've seen the what and the why and these incredible who examples. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about the how. How do we actually apply this to our everyday thoughts? Especially that inner voice, that internal dialogue we all have running. That voice can be our biggest cheerleader, or sometimes our harshest critic, right? The insights from our sources give some really concrete examples of how to flip that script, transforming negative self-talk into positive replacements. And I really invite you, as we go through these, to just reflect for a moment on your own typical thought patterns. Okay, so here's a common one. Facing a tough task, that thought pops up, I can't do this. The shift isn't pretending it's suddenly easy. It's reframing it to something like, I'll give it my best shot. See the difference? It's about effort, not guaranteed outcome. Or how about that nagging internal monologue, I always fail? Feels heavy, doesn't it? How about transforming that into, every failure is a lesson? That completely changes the narrative. It's not an ending, it's learning. Focus shifts from the outcome to the process, and maybe the most pervasive one, I'm not good enough. Oof, this can powerfully become, I'm improving every day. This acknowledges where you are, but affirms your potential for growth. It's dynamic. These aren't just, fluffy affirmations. They're conscious, deliberate shifts in perspective. And they can actually reshape your reality over time.
And this really drives home the idea that what we say to ourselves, that inner script, it isn't fixed. It's not unchangeable. It is fundamentally a conscious choice. It's a skill, something you can develop and refine. Just like you train a muscle at the gym, you could absolutely train your mind to default to more constructive, more positive narratives. Now, it takes awareness, sure, and consistent practice. But the examples we just talked through show the profound impact it can have on your actions and ultimately on your results. It really brings up an important question, doesn't it? If you could consciously choose the story playing in your head consistently, what kind of empowering narrative would you want to tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of?
Exactly. Okay, so if you're listening and feeling inspired, feeling ready to maybe make a shift, how do you actually develop this mindset? It sounds great in theory, but where do you start? What are the practical daily changes you can make? Our sources offered some incredibly useful, actionable tips, things you can start doing, like today.
Right. The first one, and honestly maybe the most impactful according to the research, is to practice gratitude consistently. Make it a non-negotiable. Every day, maybe morning or evening, just take a minute to physically write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. It seems small, but this simple act fundamentally shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It recalibrates your whole perspective.
Okay, daily gratitude, number 1.
Number 2, surround yourself with positivity. This is about being really intentional. Think about the people you spend time with, the books you read, the podcasts like this one hopefully you listen to, even the stuff you scroll through online. Try to curate your environment so that what feeds your mind tends to uplift and inspire you rather than drag you down.
Makes sense. Be intentional about inputs. What's next?
Next, actively challenge negative thoughts. Just like we discussed with the reframing examples. When those self-defeating thoughts pop up, and they will consciously pause, recognize them, and then actively reframe them into something more constructive or realistic. Fourth, set realistic, achievable goals. Break big ambitions down into smaller steps. And then, this is key, celebrate the progress. Acknowledge the small wins. Each little success builds confidence and reinforces that belief that you can achieve things.
Celebrate the small wins. Love that.
Fifth, use positive language. Be really mindful of the words you use, not just in your head, but when you speak to others too. Words have immense power to shape perceptions, yours and theirs. Try to choose language that's hopeful, constructive, and encouraging.
Language matters. 2 more.
Yes. Sixth, visualize success. Use the power of mental imagery. Vividly imagine yourself achieving your goals, handling challenges well, performing at your best. This kind of mental rehearsal actually primes your brain for success. Athletes do this all the time.
Visualization, okay.
And finally, number 7, and this is a beautiful one, help others. Engage in acts of kindness. Big or small, doesn't matter. Helping others creates this amazing positive feedback loop. It benefits them, obviously, but it also profoundly boosts your own sense of purpose, connection, and well-being. It's a win-win.
Those are fantastic, really concrete steps. Thank you. And building on those, our sources also suggested some small, powerful daily habits you can weave into your routine almost seamlessly. Things like starting your day with morning affirmations, just declaring positive truths about yourself, setting an intentional tone for the day ahead, or journaling your thoughts. Not just gratitude, but Maybe processing emotions, getting clarity on challenges, tracking your progress, and shifting your mindset. Consciously choosing positive content consumption, selecting uplifting music, inspiring videos, insightful articles, making active choices about what you let into your mind. And of course, practices like meditation and mindfulness. These are brilliant for helping you stay present, reducing that tendency to get lost in negative thought spirals, managing stress, and finally, something really crucial in today's world, limiting exposure to excessive negative news cycles and, frankly, toxic social media. Be a guardian of your mental space. Protect it from negativity just as diligently as you protect your physical well-being. Okay, so to bring all this together, let's issue a direct, actionable challenge for you listening. Starts right now. This week, just try this. Replace one negative thought each day with a positive one. Just one. And maybe jot it down. Note the negative thought, note the positive replacement. See what happens, see what shifts for you, how your perspective might change, what possibilities open up. It's a simple commitment, but the ripple effect could be surprisingly profound. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, here's the main thing to remember. A positive mindset isn't just some fixed trait you either have or you don't. It's absolutely a mental skill, highly trainable, something you can develop, strengthen, and refine over time. And it genuinely impacts pretty much every area of your life. Your health, mental, and physical, the quality of your relationships, your success at work, or in your passions. And the best part, anyone can cultivate it. It just takes consistent, small efforts. You genuinely have that power within you to reshape your internal world.
hmm And what's truly fascinating, I think, is the sheer potential for transformation that lies within this simple yet profound concept. It leaves us with a thought-provoking question, perhaps, for you to ponder after this deep dive. If you approach just one current challenge in your life right now, maybe it's a work thing, a personal goal, a difficult relationship, if you approach just that one thing with a truly optimistic, growth-oriented perspective, what new opportunity might suddenly open up? What possibilities, maybe hidden before, might reveal themselves? It's a powerful lens to carry forward, isn't it? A way to look at your very next step.
It really is a fantastic question to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible power of a positive mindset. We really encourage you to continue exploring this, apply these insights in your own life, maybe even share your experiences. Until next time, keep diving deep.